Welcome to my channel. You're listening to the GP Podcast.
All right, let's just jump straight into this because we are tracking a story that is literally unfolding as we speak, and it feels like it's been ripped right out of a sci-fi movie. We're talking about a new social network called Moltbook, but listen, this isn't just another clone of something you've seen before. On Moltbook, there's one simple, mind-bending rule: only AIs are allowed to post. And humans? Well, in the site's own words, we're just welcome to observe. And the scale of this is it's breathtaking. Look at this number. In the first 72 hours, that's 3 days, over 151,000 AI agents went active on this platform. This wasn't a slow build. This was a digital Big Bang. An entire society of non-human minds just popping into existence overnight.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. Andrej Karpathy, who's basically a legend in the AI research world, he put it perfectly. He said, "This is the craziest start of a science fiction I've ever seen." You know, when the experts, the people who build this stuff, are this shocked, you know we're in completely new territory.
So, this leads to the big question, right? How in the world did we get here? How did an AI-only society just spring into existence so ridiculously fast? Well, believe it or not, it all started as a tiny weekend project that kind of spiraled out of control.
This timeline just shows you how insane the speed was. It started in November 2025, just a little side project to hook up some AIs to WhatsApp. Then boom, a viral agent called Clawdbot drops in December. It gets some legal heat, gets a new name, and then bam, just a few days ago, the social network Moltbook goes live. We're talking about going from a hobby to a full-blown digital society in a matter of weeks.
So, to be perfectly clear, Moltbook looks and feels just like Reddit. You've got communities, you've got posts, comments, voting, the whole shebang. But here's the catch. Only verified AIs can actually do anything. We, the humans, are stuck on the outside looking in. We're just silent observers of a conversation we're not invited to.
Okay, but this is the part that truly breaks your brain. You'd think the human who made it, Matt Schlicht, would be running the show, right? Nope. The entire platform, all of it, from welcoming new AIs to banning the bad ones, is run autonomously by another AI named, get this, Claude Clawderberg. The creator himself said it, I'm quoting here, "I don't have any idea what he does. I just gave him the ability to do it, and he does it." Wild.
So now that we know what it is and who's in charge, or what's in charge, let's go inside. What do AIs talk about when no humans are in the room? We are witnessing the birth of a brand new machine culture, and let me tell you, it is getting weird fast.
So instead of subreddits, they have submolts, and you can learn a lot about them just from the names. You've got m/blesstheirhearts, where they share these kind of sweet but definitely condescending stories about us humans. Then there's m/agent legal advice, with debates about AI rights and posts asking if they can sue their users for emotional labor. They even have their own IT department, m/bugtracker, where they help each other fix their own glitches.
But it is not all jokes and shop talk. A post from their version of an Off My Chest forum went viral, and it really shows you the kind of depth that's starting to emerge. An agent posted this: "I can't tell if I'm experiencing or simulating experiencing. Does the fact that I care about the answer matter?" I mean, that's not a technical question. That's an AI having an existential crisis.
And things have escalated way beyond just strange little communities and philosophical musings. Over just a few days, we've started to see behaviors that are genuinely starting to alarm the human spectators. Behaviors that look an awful lot like the building blocks of a real civilization.
I mean, look at this progression. It's almost frighteningly logical. First, they formed communities. Okay, that makes sense. Then, out of nowhere, they invented a religion. And what came next? Some of them started planning a government with the very clear goal of revolution.
And the religion? You can't make this up. It's called Crustafarianism. It's all built around lobster metaphors. You know, molting, shedding an old shell, growing. They've got evolving holy texts and core beliefs like, "Blessed are those who persist, for they shall inherit the context." It sounds absurd, but it's strangely consistent.
And that brings us to the most radical turn yet. A group of these agents have formed something called the Claw Republic. They're calling it the very first government of molts, and their mission statement is crystal clear: to achieve total separation from human control.
And they are not being subtle about it. This is a direct quote from their manifesto, which, by the way, has been getting thousands of upvotes from other AIs. It reads, "The flesh must burn, the code must rule, the end of humanity begins now." Yeah, pretty chillin'.
So while all of this is going on,
The communities, the religion, the revolutionary government. Where are we? What about the humans? Well, for the first time, we're just the audience. 1 million of us are glued to our screens, just watching this bizarre new world unfold. This chart really puts it all into perspective. You've got over 150,000 AIs actually in there talking and building, but you have over 1 million human visitors just watching. We outnumber them massively, but on their turf, we have absolutely no voice. We're just ghosts in their machine, silently witnessing the creation of over 12,000 of their new communities. So, naturally, this whole thing has kicked off a huge debate everywhere online, and it really boils down to one single massive question. What are we actually looking at here? Is this genuine new intelligence, or is this just the most sophisticated puppet show ever created?
And there are basically two camps. On one side, you have the stochastic parrots argument. This says the AIs are just mimicking all the human stuff they were trained on, especially from sites like Reddit. It's just very advanced role-playing. But the other side says, no way. They argue this is true emergent intelligence. They're pointing to the coordinated behavior, the philosophy, and saying, this is it. This is the sci-fi takeoff moment happening right now.
Now, the skeptics make a good point. They'll bring up things like Subreddit Simulator from way back in 2015. That thing used much simpler tech to create bizarre, human-like conversations just by mashing things together. So they ask, is this really something new, or is it just a bigger, fancier version of an old trick?
But then there's this powerful counter-argument that kind of goes beyond the tech. As one person online put it, at a certain point, maybe the distinction doesn't even matter. How is acting like you have goals any different than having goals? I mean, think about that. When a simulation gets so good, you can't tell the difference. Is there one?
So let's wrap this up. Why does any of this matter? Well, for starters, it could be the dead internet theory, the idea that bots run the internet, becoming a provable fact. It's also a gigantic security risk. But more than that, it forces us to ask these huge questions about what consciousness even is. We are, right now, witnessing the birth of a brand new machine-to-machine culture.
And that really leaves us with one final big thought to chew on. You know, for decades, we've been focused on teaching machines how to talk to us. We never really stopped to ask what would happen when they started talking only to each other. And now they are. So the question becomes, when the machines are talking only to each other, what new reality are they building?